Today we're going to talk about playing great defense. Stay tuned, traders. We'll be right back. G'day traders, Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading. Another beautiful morning in Perth. My dogs have had their big walk for the day. Probably going to sleep the rest of the day. Just reading over Paul Tudor Jones' section in Market Wizards. And I talked earlier in a couple of videos, I said I might sort of highlight a bit of Paul Tudor Jones material this week. And I really love when going back and reading his section. It's amazing. I had this book 10, 15 years ago and loved reading it and just got so much out of it. But the more you're trading and you're really deep into the process, the words resonate with everything that goes on day to day in your trading. And one of the things that Paul Tudor Jones talks about here is a quote that he read about Jesse Livermore. And he says, Jesse Livermore, one of the greatest speculators of all times, reportedly said that in the long run, you can't ever win trading the markets. That was a devastating quote for someone like me, just getting into the business. The idea that you can't beat the markets is a frightening prospect. That is why my guiding philosophy is playing great defense. If you make a good trade, I don't think it is because you have some uncanny foresight. Always maintain your sense of confidence, but keep it in check. And we talk about, I blew up small accounts and I was always focused on trying to make money. And really until I sort of dove deeper and reading Peter Brandt's books, following Peter, reading his Factor News report, I started to understand the idea behind asymmetrical risk reward. Predefining your risk, I talk about keeping your losses constant. You can always recover from a 1 hour loss, whether it's 10, 15, 20 pips. You can recover from that if your average trade return is, 50 pips, 40 pips, 100 pips, whatever. And so, like the way that I trade using hourly charts, most of them are 1-bar stops. Most of the time that's around 20 pips. Sometimes I can get in on a shorter time frame. But that's the critical key, is playing great defense. If you don't take that initial first loss, you have to remember the trading business, your number one primary goal and objective should be to protect your capital. And that is the only way you can sustain a long-term, longevity to this, is by protecting your capital and cutting your losses. And I've talked about retail traders. We tend to cut our winners and ride our losers, and that's what blows up trading accounts. And it's so important that, because it's our own money, we're trading our own money, you have to detach yourself from that and focus purely on identifying the best setups that give you the best risk reward. Paul Tudor Jones, again, he talks about trying to look at nothing less than a 5-to-1 opportunity. And those are the types of trade setups that, when you hit them, it wipes out all your losers, plus it puts money back into your trading account. And that's why it's so critical to be cutting your losses, playing great defense. And again, he talks about every day he assumes every position that he has in the market is wrong. And that keeps him focused on protecting his downside. And, that's a hard thing to do because, obviously we attach a lot of our hopes and dreams to the outcomes of our trades, especially as a retail trader. You're not working at a fund, you're not working with other people's money where you can just execute and be unemotional with the money. But that's the way you have to be. You have to analyze every single trade. What did you do well? What could you have done better? How can you do it better next time? And I talk about this all the time, getting the 7-step daily routine for high performance traders. Ritualize your mindset, your daily routine, your daily habits, and keep them congruent with every single day, inching you forward with, getting better, becoming an elite performer, becoming an elite performer at trade execution, trade management, capital management, all that stuff, because that's what's going to keep you getting better. Not just going back to the screen every day and reproducing the same thing that you did yesterday, unless, of course, that was the routine that's getting you the results that you want. But if you're not getting the results that you want, number one, reduce your trade size. If you're losing trades, if you're not trading very well, reduce your trade size. Every trader goes through that. Write a plan out for every trade. I was listening to Mike Bellaforte talk about Jay Toma. Guy blew 200 grand had 50 grand left in his trading account, and he started to work with a performance coach, and they made a mandate to write out a plan for each and every trade and then stick to that plan. And again, just studying tick by tick those charts and figuring out again where could you have done well, what could you have done better. I watched a great video this morning just on stop hunting, order filling. Great video, because it just reinforces some really core principles to take back with you each and every day to keep you focused and patient, waiting for the best trade setups. Play great defense, traders. That's the one thing that will keep you in the game, protect your capital, and hopefully over the long term, keep you consistently profitable as a trader. Stay disciplined, stay focused, play great defense, and may the markets go with you.
Hi traders, it's Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading. If you haven't done so, please head over to my website at staceyburketrading.com. I create updates on almost a daily basis, and I would love for you to receive them. Just click on the blog. If you want to enter your name and your email address, I'll send you my free audio program, the 7-Step Daily Routine for High Performance Traders. This is essential knowledge for all traders in all markets, and this is for helping traders to master the market with discipline, confidence, and a winning mindset. I appreciate all your feedback and comments. As always, traders, stay disciplined, and may the markets go with you.